So let's dig into it. The word canon, or canonical, evolved from the Latin word canonicus, preceded by the Greek word canon, again, meaning law, accepted principle, or rule. As a student of religion myself, Christianity specifically, the first thing that comes to mind is the biblical canon. This is the term used when discussing which books from antiquity are considered inspired by God, or inerrant. So even though they're written by many different ancient writers, they are each written according to ecclesiastical law. There's a certain quality that each one of these books must possess for them to be considered canon to the biblical library. If it doesn't follow these laws, then it is deemed apocryphal, or even heretical. Now, what's interesting about this, among other things, is that canon doesn't only apply to writings. It can also apply to music. Another classic example of this would be Pachelbel's Canon in D major. In this piece, we begin with one line, and then subsequently repeat the same line on top of itself, over and over again. Because this piece is canon, we would be able to identify if a line came along that didn't fit in with the rest. So taking this back to the canon of
Sonic
for a second, what exactly does this mean? Does it mean that every game or book that follows essentially has to follow the same plot and story beats as what came before it? Well, no, of course not. If that were the case,
Sonic Adventure, Heroes, Unleashed, definitely Frontiers,
which would not be canon either. It's not that it has to be exactly the same, but just that it marches to the same essential beat. In musical terms, the initial melody sets the rule. For us, this is
the first Sonic game,
and whatever comes next must follow this rule in order for a piece to be considered canon. Everything has rules. Rules help us make sense out of the world around us, and this is especially important in establishing good fiction, because good fiction speaks of truth, and truth has rules.
Smokey, this is not Nam, this is bowling. There are rules.
Why am I telling you this? I mean, if
Ian Flynn
decided to just go a different way with
Sonic
and change his personality and make him emotional or whatever, why does it matter? So, okay, when I first heard the term canon start blowing up in relation to video games and comic book movies, I remember thinking that it was a little bit silly. Because, especially as someone who grew up as a fundamentalist Christian, the term canon, as I understood it, just meant real. Like which book about Jesus was real and really happened in history, and which was just a made-up story.
For a second, I thought that was a real guy.
So when I heard people talking about which Star Trek film was considered canon, I was like, none of them, right? I mean, none of them really happened. They're not real. And I mention this because even though I was just mistaken, and canon isn't synonymous with the term real like I thought it was, I definitely think there's something missed with this line of thought I was using. Because yeah, Master Chief isn't real, per se. Like, I can't find him in history or take a plane to find him somewhere in the world like I could with someone like you or me, but let's imagine for a second you were somewhere like Comic-Con, right? And you saw someone wearing a fluffy pink Hello Kitty-like cat outfit. And if you were to go up and ask them who they were dressed up as, and they told you, oh, I'm Master Chief, they would be wrong. Right? Like, it might seem kind of arbitrary or abstract, but Master Chief isn't a pink cat. Even though he's never really taken an actual breath in our universe, he still follows a set of rules and defining character traits that make him who he is, just like us. In the same way that a rock isn't a flower, Master Chief just isn't a cat. He may be fictional, but that doesn't mean that his character traits are infinitely malleable. If you made a Master Chief character that was pink and that did look like a cat, you could call it Master Chief, and that'd be fine, but that character would be entirely new. If you make something like
the Sonic movies,
for example, that not only changes the way
Sonic
looks, but also the way he thinks, the way he talks, his goals, his ambitions, the fans will know that that's not really the
Sonic
they knew. Anyway, to sum up, the
Sonic
of the
Sega
games has become real to us. And it's more than just smoke and mirrors. I mean, if my son came to me and said, I want to be like
Sonic
when I get older, I wouldn't think that it's silly. And I'd also know what he meant. Because the heroic traits of
Sonic,
like
free-spiritedness, confidence, empathy, optimism, and a hatred of authoritarianism,
are all real traits.
Sonic
is real because he was written well. And changing him, changing what we know as canon, betrays that.